The interesting thing, how Quran captured that event in order really like to clarify that important distinction between what type of reference you are going to follow to give you the direction. And as we said last time, that you can imagine that the moment Muhammad ﷺ focused on that person who represents the elite, Quran came down to say this is not really the right direction that you really have to take. And Quran will show him why it is important to see this important distinction, and how important is really the revelation in that. Because you see, we have seen it in the previous chapters, okay, however, talking about the idea of the disease of istaghna, or self-sufficiency, and the arrogance that comes with that, and this fake feeling of that you don't really need the other. And we have seen that Muhammad ﷺ was promised that in every situation you will be confused which direction you have to take, we will provide you with the guidance. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. So it is really abasa. It's like when you are confronted with a situation, what should I do? Which one I have really to focus on? To whom I should give my attention? Okay? And no question that there was something missing. And this is why Muhammad ﷺ needed the revelation to help him. And now it's not only Muhammad ﷺ that, although it happened through him, and what gives it really more strength. Because if it is happening with the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ at that level, who like he is at the seal and of prophecy, at the peak and apogee of a prophecy, this means it has really lot of weight, and one really need to see. And this is why I was really trying to asking that question, as if now it is really an important landmark in how things are being really viewed, okay, and not only that, like when you are going on a journey or a trip, okay, you follow certain landmarks. And these are the ones that you always remember. And Quran will use this, if you see late in the كَلَّا إِنَّهَا تَذْكِرَةٌ.
It's very interesting, because always we need to rethink the wording. Again, there's different level. When you see a surah, there is different level. It's an art. So how to read it. So the Quran is, and again, this is word view. It's not something easy
to see,
to grasp.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there is different level, and you try to dig as much as you can. Okay, it's more you dig and train yourself to try to extract the meaning. More Quran will give you more, because it's Al-Karim. The name of the Quran, Al-Karim. You know what is
generous. Yeah.
Generous, you know. Al-Hakim, wise. So it means the Quran is not introduced as sacred, if you like, muqaddas. There is no qaddis as an attribute to the Quran, but Hakim, Kareem, Majid, لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. If you can see how the Quran is introduced to us, it means more we work and we have that attributes, realize them in our own life, we'll be able to approach the Quran better way and get better results. So the Quran, as you said, is the reference of meaning, and that can help us to move, that can to the right way, that give us direction in this life, that give meaning to the life itself. You say A'ma here, this A'ma, take it very tangible, someone who lost his vision, blind, right? So imagine the way that person who does not know how to take the right direction, he does not know the direction. It's very simple.
It needs help, yes. Yeah.
You know, it means here is also the role of the prophecy is to give the whole humanity light and the way to see, to continue their journey toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, Al-A'ma is there. Otherwise, why it needs a prophecy at its highest level? Why you are there if the state is not Al-A'ma state, if you like? Because this is it, because it's a layl. We saw a lot how the Quran talked about al-layl. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى. It needs النهار إذا تجلى. It needs the sun, الشمس وضحاها. But it needs also a new ummah when it can reflect that light. وَالنهار إذا جلَّاها, to expose it, to have people to see the new light. So it's a state of al-a'ma, if you like, that needs a lot of help and a lot of work to change it. There is no way you can change it if you don't rethink the way things are seen that blinded everyone to see the light. It's very, very deep symbolism. It's so deep. Because here, this is why the Quran will try to question things. وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّهُ يَزَّكَّى. And what would make you know that he would purify himself? This is the Quran is questioning status quo. The questioning how things are seen. وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّهُ يَزَّكَّى. Take Al-A'ma, the whole world. A world that lost direction. A world that is no longer able to move toward higher values. Toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the source of all values. A crisis, a decadence, no one is able of moving, is suffering. It's as the Quran described it, we saw it in Surah At-Tariq, يَوْمَ تُبْلَى السَّرَائِرُ. You are in deep crisis, but you don't see a way how to get out of it. Al-A'ma is something you no longer doubt. Al-defined. This is really a real state. For sure, the narration will try to say, at that time, to find something very tangible. Because this is the way how they understand things. But the Quran is covering more than particular. There is no asbab al-nuzul. The Quran is able to cover the time of the Prophet ﷺ, but is the source of meaning for all times, for his era. So it's not related to that time only, but is able to answer the question at that time. So it's very interesting here, the Quran is questioning that state. وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّهُ يَزَّكَّى. And the way is questioning it is very also beautiful. The way when you use لَعَلَّ, when we deal with human being, there is no determinism. At the level of the individual human being or at the level of society. There is always لَعَلَّ. You always need to doubt all what you are doing. At any time you can lose your balance. At any time you can lose meaning. At any time you can lose direction. This is why فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى. So it means all it's فإذا فرغت فانصب. You need to work very hard each time you end certain project, or also you feel a state of emptiness. In ease, you need to work very hard to also free yourself from that state, so you can, as human being, continue your journey toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Keep the momentum.
So this la'alla is very interesting here. So it means you cannot talk about indeterminate way when you talk with human being or human being society, including yourself. It doesn't mean today you say I feel very good today, it means it's going to happen tomorrow. And the same thing, so Quran used a lot of wording, and they are very beautiful, that you need to be always careful and aware, and to put that state or that situation always under control.
To free you from the state of taking things for granted, that okay, I reached that level. No, there is a danger. Okay, you need to be vigilant to resist the potential for failure. So this la'alla and the other term that or word that we see has the same connotation, dhanna, yadhunnuna.
Yes.
One say, oh, how yadhun? Yadhun means like to think or doubt something, but you doubt yourself that I have to be very vigilant, because if take things for granted, this is the time when you may lose it and you may fall. You see what I mean? So nothing really feels like success, as we have said before. Like, because success may imprison us. We think that we have reached, and then it may become really the time when we start falling. But if you keep the working hard and resisting this feeling of ease, then you will be, continue that trip towards the higher values, towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And as we saw with Surah At-Tariq, when as-sama, the sky, those had the meaning was the heaven. That, with water, you can give life to earth. And the example also was samai that raja. And when you talk about human being, Allah said, innahu ala raj'i, this is raja, la qadir. You can bring him back to life. So here is, what is the questioning? This question, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ, this question here. And you question something, it means really that give you, the first thing you need to have, that ability to question things, to change them. If you are not able to question a certain situation, you will not be able to change it.
So it means that you are not accepting.
So through question, you can bring reality to our awareness, and will become the controller to that situation. Is no longer the situation is controlling us. As we saw, the situation was controlling the behavior. No, the Quran, the new methodology, the Quran gives us the ability to control the situation by giving us that ability to question it. So now we own it through our question, and we will change it through our ability to answer. So you see how human beings is seen here. And the Quran will use the other word, يَزَّكَّى. And we saw also this is آتَ مَالَهُ يُؤْتِ مَالَهُ يَتَزَكَّى. We saw this wording you can see. The Quran will use that because they are concepts that they have the meaning. It's how the Quran is using to build the new word here. So yazakka is not just purification. It is to increase your ability to implement higher meaning to a certain action, and to have the right direction that can help you to continuously approach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Quran is also talking about meaning. See, أعمى يتزكى. Loss of meaning, not ability to see. يتزكى is the ability, is the way that you can be able to see and act in the right way. So again, the Quran is talking about the level of meaning and the reference of meaning and the way. So what gives a society or a human being that ability to act is zakah.
And it's very compatible with Allah, because yatazakka is really, it carries the meaning of this perpetual attempt to go higher and higher and to increase the level of goodness. الزيادة في الخير.
Yes, that's true.
As التزكية الزيادة في الخير. How you increase the level of goodness. So it is really a perpetual process. It's not like, it's a dynamic one. It's not like just one-time event, but it is a continuous attempt through life to get closer and closer to Allah.
But how? It's very beautiful. But zakah, you know zakat, as Muslim, we know zakat. What's zakat? Is you give from your money, right? To others. To increase your money, you give from it. It's so beautiful. Zakat is the language, the law, as concept. How to increase certain things is by sharing, by giving from it. Now we are able to, each one of us is increasing our knowledge. How? By sharing this idea with each other. It's so beautiful, the word the Quran is using. The other istaghna is totally the opposite. How you increase your wealth, but deprivate other of it. How you increase things, but not sharing them. So you see, so totally two different world of view that will generate different behavior. They will give different meanings to life. They will give different stratification to the society itself. So the word is well chosen here. But what's very beautiful, also the way Al-Quran is teaching us to see the human being, that always give us hope. As we saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, as look at the heaven, the sky and how the earth, after, you see it's totally dead, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to bring it back to life continuously. We are here in North America, in Chicago, after a few months, when I came the first time and I saw the forest in winter, I never thought this can come back. I cannot believe because I didn't see it at the beginning, in the summertime. But when you see it at summertime, also you cannot
believe that and this will come back alive. Yeah?
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also, this is why Quran will use word of hope. أو يذكر فتنفعه الذكرى, or became reminded so that the reminder should profit him. But it means it is embedded in us. It's embedded in human being, society, that ability to come back to life.
As if you forget, so you need
because
to be
reminded.
reminded.
الذكرى is as is part of you, as you are just reminding. But you cannot remind in certain era the same way another era was reminded. You need to have that ability to extract what you need from the system, from the reference of meaning, what your era needs as meaning to continue its journey toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here is the picture is Muhammad is the last prophet, is the seal of the prophecy. The era, the time, it's crisis. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر. الفساد is what's the title of that book?
Ill fares the land.
Exactly, land and the sea. It's really, is this the state? When we are facing it, when facing that state without having that hope, without having that reference that tells us it's possible to change it, you will be prisoner of it forever. Because as reality is as is ill reality, if you like, is dead state. It's everyone is prisoner of what they have. Unless you have a reference that will tell you this is changeable, you can change it, and this is how you change it. There's no way to change it. So this Al-A'ma again is that state that Muhammad ﷺ and his companion will face to change, and as they did, and give the light and the meaning and the direction to the humanity. And here is أما من استغنى. This is what I will talk about again. استغنى. استغنى here is, the Quran is making this elite, if you like, also responsible for their state. إن الإنسان لا يطغى أن رآه استغنى. The result of any feeling, if you don't share, if you have that world view of self-sufficient, you are independent, there is no need for others, sometimes even the closest others. Someone who go to the mosque and blow everyone in the mosque itself, that one it's really sick. He has that behavior reflected in his action. There's no need for others. Not only no need, it means by eliminating other, you will gain paradise. There any more ridiculous way to see the world more than this one? But you can see how this can affect the behavior. Because this person who died, you cannot say is not honest. Because it's level of dying. To die for something is not easy to reach. But you can die for something because of wrong understanding, of loss of meaning, of that state of istighna that give you that feeling there is no need for others. However, if you trust Allah, that is Al-Hakim, if we live today in a world when there is 6 or 7 billion people, it means our mission should be shared between the 6 billion people so we can advance. And we can continue our journey. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not creating the 7 billion
in vain.
In vain. They are there with no meaning. They are there to reflect the task and the responsibility, the level of responsibility we have on our shoulder, if you like, to make it possible to happen. This is why there is the idea of at-ta'aruf, is this mutual recognition, that environment when you share with others as part of the vision. This is how we can continue this journey that belongs to all of us. So how to find this world view that leads us to istighna, to that wrong judgment and misunderstanding and misbehavior of this extreme situation when you feel you don't need others. There is no need for that. This is another way. You are creation, you know, you were created, but you have that fake feeling you are now the creator. You are the God. However, by nature, when you are created, you are in need. And we are in need at the level of, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it tangible to us. We cannot generate ourselves without need to the other part. As a man, you need a woman and the woman will need a man for that zawaj to generate ourselves. And this is how the whole universe is protected from being, or from having that, you know, that judgment, wrong judgment, that you are God. Because as creation, you always in need. So this is why Al-Quran will talk about parity, talk about zawj. Zawj is universal concept. من كل زوجين اثنين. It's not at the human being level. Even when you study physics, you need to have that idea in mind. When you have chemistry, you need to have that idea in mind. When you study any other field, and you deal with the universe, you need to look for zawjiyah and the balance to understand what's happening in the universe. So here the Quran is saying this istaghna. It's not natural stratification that society reaches, but they make it possible and they profit from it. So unless you have the right reading to a society, you will not be able to change it. So when you have that right reading, you will change the behavior itself.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing this to the Prophet, like أَمَّا مَنِ اسْتَغْنَى فَأَنْتَ لَهُ تَصَدَّى. So this is you are attending to that person who represents really this worldview or this approach in life to be self-sufficient and feel no need for the other. He doesn't even cares about what type of light you are bringing really to them. They are really after their own interest. They are really after maintaining their own powers in the society. وَمَا عَلَيْكَ أَلَّا يَزَّكَّى. So you are not responsible if that person makes that decision not really like to increase, purify himself, or goes in the direction of increasing the level of goodness in his life and in the lives of people around them. So again, we are seeing this stark contrast between really two pathways, between two approaches in life, two worldviews. Okay, while the a'ma, the blind person, is really, Quran is saying وَأَمَّا مَنْ جَاءَكَ يَسْعَى وَهُوَ يَخْشَى. But the person who is really coming to you, yas'a, meaning that it's not just walking normally, but like when you are in a hurry, when you are in haste, so you want to catch something, like there is a train that you don't want really to miss, so you start really walking like in a hurry or quickly or faster in order to catch. So this person is coming to you despite his physical disability and his handicap or his physical challenge. He is coming to you running almost, you know, sa'i, and we are living today the season of Al-Hajj, and where there is sa'i between Safa and Marwa. So this is really a representation of going after something that you feel you are in need of it. And this person is after really the truth. He is interested in the guidance the Prophet will be providing, because he is really recognizing the Prophet as really the source of guidance, or the source of the light.